Okay, this is my van tour. It won't take long because it's a small van. But I'm going to give you a bit of a tour of stories so far. I got this van back in July last year, 2019, and I started living in it pretty much straight away, bare bones, and I've just built it up since. Uh, and it's took time. And there are things I regret now, like I regret that I waited so long to do the installation. Let's go back here and start that because yeah, because we ended up doing it one very wet weekend in the autumn when it was getting colder and I started getting dripping ceilings, and it was a bit of a nightmare weekend, but we got it done. But yeah, I wish I'd done it earlier in the year when it was a bit warmer and the days were longer. But basic insulation is, this is the back doors. There's some 35mm white sort of Dacron insulation, fluffy white stuff that's stuck to the walls with high temp spray adhesive. I learnt the hard way that you need to get the high temperature stuff. Covered over with the notorious Reflectix, which you can buy really cheap in UK for about £16 for a big roll. I've gone through about 3 rolls so far. I want to cover the back doors with something else, but I just ain't got round to thinking what could be. And down here you can't see it, but the bottom half of these doors, I've left it as just the like the plastic cover that they have. I'm going to put something else over there at some point. The ceiling again is the Dacron, and it's covered over with this throw. I'm going for the hippie look, as you can see. And yeah, the throw again is stuck up with adhesive. We tried to do it with heavy duty Velcro, but it wasn't working. And there are areas where I need to get a bit more of the adhesive in, but I quite like it. I do. It's quite nice. There was one alarming bit above my stove, which I'll talk about in a minute, but the my bro was a bit like, oh no, you're going to put some sort of fireproof thing above the stove. So for the time being, everything's temporary. I've covered it with a bit of a fire extinguisher blanket and that tinfoil tape around the edges that never stays put. It always comes off eventually, but that's doing the job for now of protecting my my ceiling. Anyway, the rest of the walls, it's not necessarily easy to see because of the way the light is. So again, it's that insulation, the white stuff, covered with the Reflectix, and then we put the plywood panels back. Oh, I didn't, my daughter's boyfriend did. We stuck them back in place, and then my lovely grandkids painted them purple for me, and so they're warm and dry. The window I got put in. One of my favourite things is that window. Look at that view out there. I always park somewhere where I've got a view through that window, and that to me is van life. It's just, at the moment I've got a view of the canal and that lovely willow. I park a different place every night. I've got about 14 places currently locally that I park. I live and work in my hometown. I'm born and bred in Leamington Spa in the UK, and I live and work here. So I park all around Leamington and out in the local countryside. And I love it here. And people here, I mean, obviously I've lived here all these years. I'm well known in the town by a few people, and very much part of the community. And I've had so many people say to me, you know, Sue, if you need a shower, if you need a bed for the night, if you need a hot meal, just come round, you know, which is absolutely awesome. And people are, you know, people are so excited about what I'm doing. I get people ask me all the time, how's it in the van? How's it going? Anyway, I swapped out, I don't know why, I was using my thin quilt, you know, don't know, duvet. I was using the thin summer one for ages until I realised I've got a nice 13.5 tog one somewhere, so I'm a lot warmer with the warm one on, and I've got a couple of blankets over it and some nice cushions. And here, my hot water bottle. Yeah, where's he gone? There he is, which I didn't have to use last night because it was quite mild, but I got that Secret Santa at work at Christmas. It's really good. Funny little fairy light things which are quite nice, and that I need to adjust it slightly, but that's the tidy that my sister made me, which is very useful. Loads of pockets. She made me that. She's very artistic. And yeah, so my dream is one day to sort out that door a bit as well. So over here we have my throw, which is hooked up on a curtain wire, which can be pulled back when I remember to. I pull it back and tie it up, so I've got a bit of a view out that blind spot when I'm driving. But 9 times out of 10, I forget to do that. That's my storage nightmare, as you can see. I never have enough space, but that's the storage. When I got to drive, which is often, I shove all of that stuff up on the top onto the bed here, and then at night time I shove it all back again. That's my daily rituals, yeah. So on the floor here we have my little heater. There's a long tail there, I'll tell you in a minute. My lovely toilet, which I got from Go Outdoors, which is absolutely perfect. It's like a normal toilet, but you just have to empty it. And hygienically, I place my cool bag on the top because there's nowhere else for it. But I just get ice. I freeze my ice packs at work, and to be honest, I wash this once a week. This cool bag. It gets washed at work and hung up to dry, and by the evening it's dry again because it gets manky very quickly. Looking down here, there's a long tale about my electric. I'll tell you in a minute. But this is my. I use this a lot. It's my jump starter from Halfords, and it's really useful just to charge things up in the van, you know. I've got a number of those little chargeable power packs, but since I've had this little beauty, I don't really bother with them. It also would, if needed, jump start the van, and I can inflate the tyres with it and everything. But yeah, so my storage, these things are wonderful. All this stuff in here, look, just fantastic. And then the stove is a double burner, which is fantastic. I haven't used the grill function yet, and it goes down here to a little gas bottle, which you probably can't see down there. My gas bottle's there, and I disconnect it before I drive away every day. And I haven't had to change it yet, but I've been using that since Christmas. This is my thermometer. I'm obsessed with knowing what temperature it is in here. And this, a friend bought me. It's fantastic. It's rechargeable lamp, look, and yeah, really bright, and it just charges off a USB cable, so I can keep that charged up off this little thingy here, or I can plug it in at work. So my storage units mostly are food, which I quickly learned there's no point storing food on the van because I rarely cook in here. Last night I actually did, but most of the time I eat at friends or at work or wherever. But I've got a bit of washing up to do there. That there is my rubbish bin. One of the things I find most infuriating, I'm a big recycler, but storing the recycling until I can get somewhere to put it is a thing. So that's currently on the spare storage area, the front seat. That's my pressure cooker, which I brought with me when I gave my flat up, because I thought, well, if I'm cooking a stew or something, and you don't get the steam problem with that. And underneath is a UHT milk, which I try and keep loads of in stock, because if I run out of milk, it's really useful. Yeah, I keep most of my clothes at my daughter's house. I don't know what I'd do. If I was going to go travelling, I'd have to get a bigger van, I think. That's the only thing. And my bed was built for me by my brother. It's beautiful. It's basically just a wooden frame. There's holes drilled in the base to stop the damp. That's a nice flannelette sheet and pillowcase, and it's ever so comfortable. It's 5 foot wide. I had to cut the mattress to fit, but I found my brother said, he built it for me, he said, I'll make it slightly wider because then you can slant diagonally if you really, really want to stretch your legs out. And to be honest, that is quite useful, yeah. Here, I made these myself. The front window, all the windows are this out of Reflectix, and camping mat is the essential window cover. They fit in all the windows and they keep it warm, and they also block the light. And under here is storage. So there's the fire extinguisher. Over there is the fire blanket. In here I've got cooking things, pans and stuff. In here I've got it's my washing up bowl, which I keep this jug is very useful. So I don't know how, I see all these videos with people with carpets, and I think, how do they do it? Because I can't pour a jug of water without spilling it all over the floor. This is those foam tile things you can get from Halfords, big things, and they're easy to replace. And anyway, so in order to pour my water from these, I pour it first into the jug and then I pour it into the kettle or wherever, and that's how I get the hot water for everything. And then I have this flask, which I love. It means I can boil a whole kettle full of water and then keep it, and I don't have to keep boiling the kettle. In there at the moment there is some water waiting for me to make a nice cup of coffee. And move that rucksack, that's my work bag. Here's my favourite box, I think, absolutely my favourite. So behind all this stuff, because it goes back quite a way, there is more storage space which I can access from in here, but often it's easy to go out the back. But because I do stealth camp around Leamington, in and around and in the country and that, if you're parked in a nice lay-by, you can just get out and do what you like. But in town, if you're trying to be a bit like quiet about, advertise your presence, it doesn't help if you've got to get out in the night and start fidgeting in the back. But this is my favourite box. This is full of stuff that I've had for a long time, from years of camping. So we've got all my tools. That's the new crimpers I just bought. The essential Gorilla Tape, can't do anything without that. More of the foil tape, my hammer. I've got an axe under there and a handsaw when we have wood fires. Not many places in Leamington, in fact in the UK, are favourably inclined to people setting up wood fires. But basically all of my tools, my little spare emergency tiny gas stove, and needs a good sorting out. That's my favourite box because it's so handy. And back to the last thing then that I was going to talk about. What are the essentials? This stuff's worth its weight in gold. 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner and shower gel. Fantastic when you're grabbing a quick shower somewhere. But yeah, under here there is a diesel heater I got fitted recently, and there was a Lesher battery which has been a pain in the whatever ever since we got it. Doesn't seem to want to hold a charge. Currently it's at my daughter's house on a smart charger, and it's still, after hours, won't go past 75%. Basically I think I've knackered it. I don't quite know how, but I have. And that, what you can see there, is a solar controller. So I've got a solar panel which is designed so I can take it in, and it's portable, and during the day when I'm at work it's going to be in the front window, and then if I'm camped up somewhere and it's pleasant, I could actually put it just outside, lean it up against the side of the van. I'm not going to stick it to the roof, or at least not for now, because I just want to be stealth. And also somewhere down there is a split relay unit. I haven't finished all the installations yet because of the battery playing up. I haven't been able to tell if it's actually working or not because the stupid battery won't take a charge. But today I'm going to crack, finally, after 3 weeks of piddling about. I'm going to go to Halfords locally and buy another battery, and then at least I can get my split relay unit working. I don't think I'll be able to test my solar panel much in this weather, but I can get the split relay unit working, and then once it's working, and then I know it's working, then we can try fixing it in place. I've got to make an earth, which I think is going to involve me having to drill a hole in the van, and I'm always a bit nervous about doing things like that, but I'll give it a go, because I need a really good earth for it. But yeah, that's the plan for today. It's Sunday and I got the day off, so that's the plan. Anyway, this is my van tour, so it's not like all shiny and wood paneling and all of that, and it's tiny van, and but I absolutely love this van. And for information, she's called Hepzibah, which is from the Bible and means the Lord delights in her. So yeah.